Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's proceed with level 3. Level 3 we'll be doing our net margin. So let me take you where we need to do our code. So we did up to level 2. So level 3 will be doing the coding for net margin, of which is down here. Let me just try to comment the code for net margin. So in net margin, you are saying that GC is equal to level 2 dot log level 2 category is equal to gross margin. We want to select, rather we want to we are trying to get a subset of data from level 2, but the subset of data is just gross margin. So that's why we are saying the GC, meaning gross contribution, is equal to level 2 dot log dot level 2 category is equal to gross margin. Then we're also saying D underscore expense, meaning direct expense, is equal to level 2 dot log dot category is equal to direct expense. So in short, what we are trying to do, we want to get the line item for the row item for gross contribution and the row item for direct expense, and then we'll net off the direct expense from gross margin to get the net margin. So before we proceed, let me just try to print out the GC. We see how it looks like. Print. The period is 1 and financial year and review is 2017. So this is what we have as gross margin, the GC that I've just printed up here. So this is our gross margin. So from the gross margin, we also need, from this level, we also need to get direct expenses. So let me delete this. And again, I will print also get D underscore expense. The period in review is period 1 and the year is 2017. This is what we have as direct expense. So down here we are saying net margin underscore 1 is equal to pd.concat direct expense and gross contribution. This will delete. So let's try to print net margin underscore 1 to see what we have. So this is what we have as direct expense and gross margin. When we check on this data frame, you can see we are having, we do have a direct expense on top and then gross margin below. When you subtract, supposing we put gross margin up and direct expense down, when you subtract, it will look like we are subtracting gross margin from direct expense. So that's why it has been done the other way around. let me repeat. We put direct expense on top and then the gross margin below direct expense. Reason being that when the gross margin is on the first row, direct expense in the second row, and then you want to get the difference, it means that you'll be getting the difference, rather you'll be getting, I will be subtracting gross margin from direct expense as opposed to subtracting direct expense from gross margin. So that's why it has been done the other way around. Let me just come back here. Let me bring that down. So what I mean here, supposing, well, let me just try to finish this code first. Give the result is when you'll see what I mean by having direct expense in the first row and gross margin in the second row. So let me try to explain what I'm trying to do here. So here I'm saying that net underscore margin is equal to category rather net margin underscore, or the net underscore margin is equal to curly brackets, then we have category, we have net margin ledger, we have net margin period, in the period we have net margin in bracket period actual, then dot difference. Then now we are moving to numerical columns, of which we have period actual. So period actual here we are saying that within that column you are saying net margin underscore 1, which is the variable up here, in bracket period actual, dot difference. We are getting the difference between gross margin and direct expense. And then moving to the next column here, moving to the next column, we have period budget. And then within that column of period budget, we are trying to get the difference between gross margin and the direct expense. So it is a period budget hyphen, not hyphen but colon, then net margin underscore 1 in bracket period budget dot difference. Dot difference here will is a command to get the difference between the values for gross margin and direct expenses, but we are getting the values after concatenating two data frames, the direct expense and the gross margin. Same applies to YTD actual and up to the total last year. So we are trying to get the differences between YTD, the differences between the gross margin and the direct expenses, so that we can come up with the net margin. That's why there's a command here for, rather function for dot difference. So when we come down here, let me just try to print net margin down here. We'll see what we have. Print in bracket NM. So the period is still 1, and the financial year in review is 2017. So this is what we have as net margin. You can see the values. So let me take you back to what I was trying to explain. That's The first row is direct expense, and the second row is gross contribution. So supposing I change this to GC, then B underscore expense. You'll see here down here how the value will change to negative as opposed to being positive. So let me run this code again. 1, then 2017. So this I have done here. So this is supposed to be in square bracket. Let me run the code again. So this is 1, and then the year in review is 2017. So now you're seeing the net margin is negative value as opposed to having it as positive value. So that's why I was trying to concatenate the GC data frame and the direct expense data frame in the other way around. So the direct expense data frame will be the first one, and the GC will be second. So we'll concatenate them in this order so that we can have the correct net margin. So the period is 1, and the financial year in review is 2017. So now you can see we are having a proper net margin. So again, now we are supposed to move to level 3, and level 3 we are supposed to concatenate level 2 with the net margin. When you come down here, you can see the code is saying that level 3 is equal to pd.concat level 2 comma net margin. Then the axis is equal to 0 because we are concatenating downwards. We are concatenating on the rows, not on the columns. And then we are resetting index. Then after resetting index, we are again dropping the index. So before I drop index, let me just try to print again level 3. So the period is period 1, financial year in review is 2017. Then now we have our gross margin. You can see now we have category, we have rather within the category we have sales volume, sales, cost of sales, gross margin, direct expense, and then after direct expenses we have net margin. So by reindexing, we are trying to arrange the index, rather we are trying to rearrange the index from 0 to 1, 2, 3 up to 5. Then this other index will drop because it is unnecessary. So that's why it has been dropped down here. So down here is what we'll have as level 3. So the period is period 1 again, and the year is 2017. So this is what we have. We have a category ledger, period actual, period budget, YTD actual, YTD budget, period last year, YTD last year, and total last year. At the last column for sub ledger, this will drop in the final level. Apparently it's there, but in our final product we'll drop this column, so it won't be there. So it should be, it should not be an issue that will drop. But remember, whatever we are trying to arrive at is this product. We are trying to arrive at income statement that looks like this. So far we have this all these columns. We have this column for period actual, period budget, YTD actual, up to total last year, and then we've done up to net margin, of which our net margin for January is 469,692. So let's just confirm that. It is 469,692, and then the YTD budget for the same period we are having 579,539.44. That's exactly the figure that we are having here, 579,538.44. So our code is reading the Excel workbook correctly. So again, I want us to stop at this moment. So when you come back again, we'll do level 4, and level 4 will be talking about the income or indirect income. So I hope you've understood from this the code for GC up to the level 3 of which you are doing the net margin. So thanks a lot for watching. Again, share my video with your friends so that we can learn together. And if you have comments, please share. Maybe you have a different way of doing our code, so you can share that so that we can all learn together. So thanks a lot for watching, and let's meet again in the next video as we do level 4.